1-1. Curveball misses low, 2 balls and a strike. The starter, Shoma Takuyama, continues for the Japan national team. Allowed the 2 hits, walked a pair, hit a pair. And otherwise been very, very good.
Yeah, the line doesn't look great for Tokuyama. A couple walks, a couple hit batsmen, only 1 strikeout, but he has, it seems like, rarely faced base runners, really. I mean, even with Mexico loading the bases in 1 inning, they had first and third in 1 inning. It really feels like he's pitched a clean game despite the line.
This one's launched 3-1, foul. Looking for a fastball in or third. He got it, but it was off the inside part of the plate.
That was way out of this ballpark. Extremely foul, but left the ballpark complex down the left field line.
Wide open stance as he awaits the payoff pitch. It's just outside for ball 4 and a leadoff walk. 3rd walk issued by Tokuyama. 2nd time that Maciel's been aboard. Leadoff man on base for the 4th time for Mexico, just once. And they brought that leadoff man around to score. It was when Favela walked to begin the 4th. How often do leadoff walks come around to score?
Yeah, that is one of those things that really feels like, it feels like the number for that is way too low, because it always feels like it burns you.
That pitch called strike 1. It was awfully similar to the ball 4 pitch. This time he gets the call. Luis Gonzalez, the batter, 2 groundouts today, 1 to short, 1 back to the mound. Now he puts it on the ground to first. Great play, stepping on the bag for the first out, and the throw to second. It's a double play, 3-6. 2 gone, bases empty. And we know all about Kiyomiya's hitting. What we haven't heard a lot about is his defense. Here he shows it to us. That ball hit pretty hard. It was a relatively easy play for the big man down at first.
And man, again for Mexico, it's a case of roping a ball right at a fielder. That was a terrific job by Kiyomiya to play a difficult hop, but if he's not holding the base runner there, that's down the right field line for extra bases for Gonzalez. But with a runner at first, Kiyomiya on top of the bag and there to make the play. We saw at the end of the 3rd inning, Miguel Sanchez lined out to second base just a moment after Craig had discussed maybe putting the runner Carlos Cordova in motion. Had he been in motion, second baseman isn't there to make that play on the liner, so Mexico has been robbed on a couple of balls right at fielders in disadvantageous spots.
Very quickly, 2 strikes on the batter, Manzanares, who takes this one high, stays alive 1-2. Jose Manzanares has played third base today, played it well. He also hasn't been retired. He's doubled and been hit by a pitch. Trying to extend the 6th inning. Takes this one outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. If Manzanares is able to reach, it's on to Ramon Mendoza. Otherwise, we'll head to the 7th. 2-2 pitch. Swinging a weak ground ball up the middle. Waiting for it, the shortstop, Kaito Kozono to first. And down go Mexico. They send just 3 men to the plate. In the bottom half of the 6th inning, the leadoff walk does not hurt Shona Takayama. We've played 6 complete at Port Arthur Stadium. Japan leads Mexico by a score of 4-1.
Mexico national team, bottom 6, no runs, no hits, no errors, and no left on base. After 6, it's the U-18 Japan team, national team that is. No, 4, and the U-18 Mexico national team 1.
The sunshine breaking through here at Port Arthur Stadium in Thunder Bay, Ontario. Fans enjoying the first of 3 games here today. The U-18 Baseball World Cup. Japan national team enjoying a 3-run lead after 6 innings. It's 4-1 over the Mexico national team, and Japan will look to build on the lead, sending 2, 3, and 4 to the plate. Begins with Kosuke Ito. Ito, a sacrifice bunt, a strikeout, and a walk. So he's 0 for 1, and he takes ball 1 low from the left-handed pitcher, Jose Palafox. Yasada and Kiyomiya wait on deck and in the hole, respectively. Now inside, 2-0 from Palafox. Third baseman Jose Manzanares playing even with the third base bag, middle infield deep. Saul Favela over at first base, and now the 2-0 pitch is high, 3-0. Palafox now checks the landing area, and he'll get to kicking at it as he tries to find a way back into this at bat. Walked the first man he faced, Ito, but just on 1 pitch. He came in with a full count, 3-2. When Dario Hardea, the starter, had to depart with a blister. 3-0 pitch. Nowhere near the strike zone, way up high. And so it's a 4-pitch free pass to begin the 7th.
And that could definitely suggest an issue with that footing on the land foot, which is, of course, the right foot for a left-handed pitcher. If you're not finishing your delivery and following through as comfortably as normal, you're going to leave the ball up. So that could definitely be the factor contributing to those balls way out of the strike zone up top.
First pitch poured in for strike 1 to Yasada. Saw Luis Gonzalez pop up, ready to throw the ball to second. Ito had taken a couple of hard steps towards second base, off his lead from first. Substantial lead. And he'll garner a throw from Palafox. 4 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for Japan thus far. 1 run, just 2 hits. No errors for the Mexico national team so far this morning. Another soft toss over to first. Favela had to lunge across the bag and really over the top of the base runner. I'm not sure if he knew that he had secured the baseball because he took a couple of hard steps. We'll take a look. Those hard steps may have been a ploy intended to get Ito to take a couple of hard steps of his own off the base. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, and that actually, Favela tried that earlier in the game too with a throw that direction. It's the gamesmanship for first basemen and base runners is there's a lot that goes on there. It's kind of an unspoken component of base running. But it's fun to watch.
That's a play I haven't seen a whole lot.
Yeah.
Now the 1-1 on its way. It's inside. Gonzalez bumped into Chris Wilhelm, the home plate umpire, and his retrieval of the baseball doesn't impact anything. Ito was on his way to second, would have been comfortably there whether there had been that little collision between catcher and umpire or not. You'll see it here, though, just another very wild pitch, though he did get the top of the mid onto it. No way he could corral it. Man in scoring position with nobody out, and a 2-1 swung on and fisted foul out of play, back behind everything. 2-2.
Hope everybody's okay in the truck behind us. Sounds like it caught a piece of our production headquarters, we'll say. It's not even fair to just call it a truck. That thing is a palace inside.
2-2. Outside and low for ball 3. Yeah, they've got a roof. We are exposed. We're here exposed to the elements, should there be any. Meteorological elements, that is. Hopefully we won't see any, but also very much in play when it comes to foul balls. That sunshine, which had broken through, is, I think, going to be with us intermittently throughout the day. Breeze blowing in now softly from right field. but not much wind to speak of, nothing that would really impact the game. And now the 3-2 pitch. Ground ball, hard hit up the middle into center field. Being sent home is Ito. The throw to the plate is strong, but not in time. It's an RBI single for Hisanori Yasada, and it's a 5-1 lead for the Japan national team here in the top of the 7th.
Well, Craig, exactly like you were noting earlier, Japan just pulls away in the middle innings of these games. You see them put a run on in the 5th. You see him tack a run on here in the 7th, and with a chance to add as Yasuda stands at first base with nobody gone, and that was just stung back up the middle. That ball was very hard hit. And a good jump, too, from Ito, who read that perfectly off the bat, knew where the middle infielders were positioned, and got started on his route home quickly.
Now another lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch swinging is Kotaro Kiyomiya. He hits it a long way to right center field, but back to make the catch on the warning track, Osorio. He sends it in towards second base. Retreating is Yasada. Kiyomiya just got underneath that baseball, but boy, did he still give it a ride.
Man, I think he thought he got it a lot better than he did, too, and that is the considerable power that we have been hearing about for the last few weeks coming into this tournament. And again, a great job by Fausto Osorio to kind of know his positioning, where he is in right field to go make a catch up against the wall. But Kiyomiya smashed that ball, then kind of flipped the bat a little bit, and it just died out there on the warning track.
And it's funny, right after I said I don't think the breeze is going to impact the play at all, there might have been enough of a breeze to keep that ball in the yard. You saw the way Osorio played it, taking that last step in at the last moment. And now we're going to get a pitching change. I had just noticed that there was action in the bullpen for this Mexico national team. You could tell that Palafox was nearing the end of his rope. That wild start, the 4-pitch walk to Ito, and then 2 hard-hit baseballs, enough to get the change. So it'll be the 3rd pitcher of the afternoon for the Mexico national team. It'll be Jaime Garza. Garza, long-legged right-handed pitcher. There's the righty Hardea for 4+. So I suppose not technically, because he never dealt with officially that leadoff man in the 5th, Ito. He left with a full count. So 4 innings from Hardea, 2 1/3 from Palafox. And now we'll see what we get from the right-hander Garza, who very well could be out there to finish this game. Take a look at Jaime Andres Garza Chavez.
Jaime Andres Garza Chavez.
He comes into the game with Hisanori Yasada on first base. Shosei Nakamura, the catcher, right-handed hitter, set to bat. A run in the inning. That was on the base hit from Yasada. Kosuke Ito had walked and advanced to second on a wild pitch before the base hit brought him home. A deep fly ball from Kotaro Kiyomiya. And here we are, 5-1 Japan. Garza would love a ground ball here. Send us into the 7th inning stretch. His first pitch, outside and low, that's ball 1. As he looks in for the signs from Luis Gonzalez, what was once an extremely unusual motion, becoming less so, as he's bent at the waist, letting the right arm dangle. And this one fisted out towards shallow center field, off the handle of the bat. It falls for a base hit. Shosei Nakamura, his first hit of the tournament. That's the second base knock of the inning for Japan. First and second with 1 out. Not a bad pitch right there from Garza. Again, running in towards the right-handed batter, but able to pull the hands in and muscle it out into shallow center field. It's not quite the full Craig Kimbrell as he leans in for the sign. He doesn't have that right arm flexed. He's really bent over there, and now with the sign, the ball in his glove. And the pitch called strike one to the right-handed hitting Shu Masuda. Masuda a walk in the second, a strikeout in the third. Grounded into a fielder's choice 6-4 that ended the fifth inning. Now ground ball hit to short. This could be two, to second for one. The relay to first. Safe at first base. Good hustle from Masuda out of the box. Very deliberate call from first base umpire Aaron Roberts. Paused, made sure he was confident with the call before he made it. See off the bat, the great hustle out of the box.
That was a lot closer at first base than I thought it was going to be, and Saul Favela did a really good job staying close enough to the bag that you can see right there he could stretch back for it, but he was off the bag when he made the catch, and I think Masuda beat the throw by just a split second anyway.
It was very close. So it's first and third with two away. First pitch swinging, a line drive base hit into center field from the DH Sakurai. Another run on the board for Samurai Japan, a 5-run lead, largest of the day. It's 6-1.
And just station to station baseball for Kosuke Ito. Leadoff walk, wild pitch, then he scores on the single. And Yasuda behind him, single, goes to second on a single, third on a single, comes home on a single.
And now it's Inoue, the second baseman, taking the pitch low for ball one. So the Japan national team is not really taking any time to scout Jaime Garza. They're going up there with a very aggressive approach. Inside, ball two. Japan plated 3 in the second. Mexico drew within 2, scoring a run in the fourth. A run that was immediately answered in the fifth by Japan, and now 2 so far in the seventh. 2-0 pitch, ball 3. Taisei Inoue looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 3, though he reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the second. He's the 7th man to bat this inning, which is now the longest inning so far today in terms of batters faced. 3-0 pitch. Right down the chute, 3-1. Man on second is Shu Masuda. And Shudo Sakurai just ripped that RBI single into center on first, 3-1. Call that one strike 2. Inoue had taken a baby step towards first. An off-speed pitch that time from Garza. Full count, 2 out. The runners will be off. There they go. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit a long way towards the corner and right. And that ball is gone. Initially called fair by the first base umpire, Aaron Roberts. He didn't see it come back off the wall, so he changed the call to a home run. A 3-run blast, and Japan has taken ownership of this one here, leading 9-1 in the top half of the seventh.
Exactly like you said, this is a team that just pours it on in the middle innings in a 5-run frame now, and this ball just torched over the heart of the plate. Inoue gets the bat head around it and just lined it out over the wall in right field.
Lined is the word. That ball barely clearing the fence. Now Garza kicks and delivers a bunt attempt from Kaito Kusono. And that will be strike 1. Came up empty on the attempt.
By the way, the line is now closed on Jose Palafox. 2 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, and a strikeout.
A high leg kick, but he takes the pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tough start to the outing for Garza. We can call it the afternoon now. Noontime in Thunder Bay. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
Jaime Garza, this is kind of a weird comp, but there's almost a little bit of Tim Lincecum in that delivery with the way he's so leaned back when that left leg comes out in front. Certainly not the exaggerated motion of turning around the way Lincecum used to, but even a little bit of that. But he's got a long stride.
Great job there by Cusono to adjust to the off-speed pitch, pop it back, foul out of play to stay alive. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes to the number 9 hitter, who's 3 for 3 with 3 singles. Here's a foul right beneath us.
That ricocheted off of the grandstand roof and then right directly up above us to the roof over our heads. And thankfully Chris is okay. That's the most important thing. Well, if we lose Chris, the cameraman in the booth with us, we've lost everything.
1-2. High and outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. A 5-run inning. Everybody's all right.
We're good.
Chris's camera was probably most in danger of anything on that play. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Jaime Garza fans Kaito Cusono to end the top half of the 7th, but it's a big inning for the Japan national team. They score 5 runs on 4 hits. Nobody left on base. And after that strikeout from Garza, he can head back to the dugout feeling a little bit better. But the damage done, the 3-run blast from Taisei Inoue. And it's 9-1 after 6.5 here at Port Arthur Stadium.
U-18 Japan national team. That was settling at 5 runs, 4 hits, and no error. Nobody left on base.
Japan national team leads the Mexico national team as we take you into the bottom half of the 7th inning. New second baseman out there for the Japan national team is Kenji Nishimaki. He takes over for Taisei Inoue, who just hit that 3-run home run. It really gave the Japan national team the separation they were looking for. And now the first pitch is called a strike. The leadoff batter here in the home half of the 7th, Ramon Mendoza, who after that foul tip very quickly finds himself in the 0-2 hole. Mendoza, Perez, and Cordova, the trio expected. Fastball intentionally high and wide out of the right hand of Shoma Tokuyama. It's 1-2. He was trying to get Mendoza to chase. Pitch on the way, up high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ramon has the only RBI for the Mexico national team today. He was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded in the 4th inning. Prior to that, he had grounded out to first. 2-2. Another hard ground ball. This one past the first base bag, but foul. The at-bat will continue. 10 hits to 2, the advantage for Japan. The margin of 8 exactly the same as the 8-run lead, 9-1. Got to give a ton of credit to the way that Shoma Tokuyama has come out and pounded the strike zone today. 2-2, down low, and it's a full count. Heck of a job by Mendoza staying in this at bat after quickly falling behind 0-2 to work it full. Payoff pitch. Popped up, could be playable in foul ground, first base side. And the catch is made right in front of the cameraman. Kiyomiya makes the play, and that photo could wind up on the front page of a publication or two over in Japan tomorrow morning. There's the grab. With one out and the base is empty, Martin Perez, who's still looking for his first hit. First pitch outside and low. Just 68 miles per hour on that breaking ball. Has not been overpowering stuff from Tokuyama. Just a well-pitched ball game. Now the fastball inside, popped up. Another catch made in foul ground by Kotaro Kiyomiya. 2 quick outs in the bottom of the 7th. Even though it's not overpowering, the difference from 68 to 86 is certainly enough to keep hitters off balance, more than enough to keep hitters off balance.
Yeah, sometimes you don't need the velocity if you can just change speeds that way. You don't have to blow guys away. It's the timing that you can throw off that proves to be the most effective.
Yeah, you had 5 miles an hour each way. You're looking at 73.91. But again, it comes into the hitter, especially at this point in the game, 7th inning, same way. They've gotten adjusted to the speeds, and here's a swing and a pop foul, and no balls and 2 strikes on the 2-hole hitter, the second baseman. Man who needs to reach to extend the 7th inning. Mexico in a big hole, down 9-1. Cordova 0 for 2 with a walk. The 0-2 pitch to him, sprayed foul behind the first base side bleachers. The Korea national team has gathered in the bleachers in short right field. They'll be taking on the Australia national team in game 2 of today's triple header at Port Arthur Stadium. 0-2 pitch, high and tight. No appeal to first granted. It was no swing from Cordova. The 1-2 swung on, foul tipped and held on to by Nakamura. And that's a heck of a 7th inning for Shoma Takuyama. He retires the side in order, finishing with his 2nd strikeout of the afternoon. And after 7 complete, it's the Japanese national team leading the Mexican national team 9-1 in the WBSC U-18 baseball World Cup.
After 7, it's the U-18 Japan national team 9, U-18 national, that's Mexico national team 1.
We take a look at the Sleeping Giant, located right in Lake Superior, one of the sites here in Thunder Bay. Got a great look at the Sleeping Giant last night, sort of a hilltop view, and it is one of the many places that we won't have time to make it to, but it's beautiful to see nonetheless. And this ball game here has been really dominated by the Japan national team. They lead Mexico 9-1 after 7 full innings. Craig Durham and Tyler Maughan with you here, and to take us home, here is Tyler Maughan.
Thanks, Greg. Top third of the order for Japan to get things started here against the right-hander Jaime Garza. I knew that I was going to do it. Jaime Garcia, former big leaguer. Pitch on the inside corner to even the count. You could tell from that shot as we were coming back from break, the wind is picked up from right to left. We've got the Japanese and Mexican flags flying in left center field, flanking the WBSC flag, and the Canadian maple leaf directly ahead of us above the batter's eye in center as the count is 2-1. Again, it's 320 feet down the lines here at Port Arthur and 385 to dead center field. Outfield is straight away right now facing this leadoff man who dealt the first big blow of this game, Kyoto Fujiwara, had a 3-run double back in the second. 3 runs in the second, 1 in the 5th, 5 in the 7th. Jaime Garza coming in and inheriting base runners, both of whom scored. 2-2 offering on the way, and a bouncing ball to first. Nice job on the adjustment there by Favela. That ball didn't come up, I think, quite as much as he was expecting it to, but he's there to snag it and take it to the bag on his own. 1 up, 1 down here in the top half of the 8th. Breaking ball that Garza was able to get to the bottom half of the barrel, and Fujiwara pounds it into the ground. And for the first time today, Japan will go to the bench. Kazuya Maruyama.
The U-18 Japan national team brings up Jose Ito, number 9.
So pitch hitter here in the top half of the 8th inning. It's another thing that we'll see a lot of with this Japan national team, especially if and when they get big leads. They will play everybody on that bench, which in a 20-man roster situation is not many guys. Like we were saying, most teams going with 9 pitchers and 11 position players. Maruyama squared to show bunt, but took it back. So the day done for Kosuke Ito, who goes 0 for 1 in 4 trips to the plate. Sacrifice bunt, 2 walks. He scored a couple of runs. He struck out in his only at-bat of the day.
Just want to go back to that point that you made about involving everybody on the bench. Got a great chance to see a documentary about high school baseball in Japan last night.
2-1 pounded foul.
The documentary was called Kokoyaku, which I think means high school baseball, and it was focused on the Koshien tournament, which we've been discussing, the one that just wrapped up in August. It's really the dream of every childhood baseball player in Japan is to make it to that tournament.
Swinging a liner on 1 hop out to short, picked there by Martin Perez. Throw to first barely in time to get the fleet-footed Maruyama, who is retired 6-3.
One of my favorite things, though, one of the main focuses of the documentary was on player number 18. Each roster is 18 players deep, and they actually showed one classroom where they were revealing the roster. And the most emotional moment of the film and of that particular scene was when they announced number 18 and what he means to the club as sort of the spiritual leader. He's not the captain, but he's the guy, and the coach straight up said it to him. You're not the most technically sound baseball player, but I love your attitude, I love your work ethic, and I love the way you scream your lungs out on the bench. And we need you there. You're as important as our leadoff hitter.
That is awesome. And those guys are so important for the glue of a team. The character guys, the energy guys, the ones who are kind of the monitors of the mood, that type of stuff. There's a bouncing ball right out in front of the plate off the bat of Yasuda. Tough play, and just in time at first. A great job by Saul Favela to somehow make the catch on the back end of that throw from Jaime Garza. And Japan is gone in order for the first time today here on that 1-3 put out to close the 8th. We'll head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Mexico, a lot of tough sledding ahead, trailing 9-1 to Japan here in game number 1 of the 2017 U-18 Baseball World Cup.
Pitching for your U-18 Japan national team, number 17, Shunpei Isomura.
Handful of changes for Samurai Japan as we move into the bottom half of the 8th inning. We will see our first reliever from the Japan bullpen as Shoma Tokuyama's day is done. 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, a run, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, 2 hit batsmen, and he gives way to left-hander Shunpei Isomura, who takes over on the mound. Also a couple of defensive changes. Kenji Nishimaki took over at second base actually last inning, and pinch hitter Kazuya Maruyama remains in the game. He's in center field in place of Kosuke Ito. And the leadoff man for Mexico here in the bottom half of the 8th inning is Miguel Sanchez, who takes a ball inside. But Shoma Tokuyama, that's the exact formula you want from a starting pitcher. 7 innings. As this one, a little long burner out to short. Man, that throw took off on Kiyomiya at the last second, and he had to adjust to make that catch, but it's a 6-3 putout. I'm not sure if maybe he didn't see that as it was coming through to him at first, but
that was a rising fastball.
Yeah, I think just had a little bit of late life to it as the fastball is outside from Isomura. We've seen so many left-handers in the lineup today for Japan. We finally get one on the mound. Started 6 left-handed hitters against righty Dario Hardea. This one is pummeled to center field, racing back. First turned over his left shoulder and then adjusting to make the catch on the opposite side, Kosuke Ito. So it's a fly out to center field for Saul Favela. As you get a look at Shunpei Isomura, the left-hander, to take over on the hill for the 8th inning.
I think that was actually Maruyama out in center field.
That's
who came
right.
in as a pinch hitter, and what a tester. First one hit at him, and really professional job after getting initially turned around to recover and make a difficult play.
Yeah, that is not easy. Initially turned to his left and then kind of had to circle all the way around that way and make the catch over his left shoulder. Ordinarily, you turn to your left, you're looking back over your right shoulder to make a grab, as the count is quickly no balls and 2 strikes. Here to Fausto Osorio, who has played an impressive right field today for Mexico. 0-2 on the way to him. On the inside corner, and a quick and clean bottom half of the 8th inning for Shunpei Isomura. 3 up and 3 down. His first strikeout ends the bottom of the 8th. As Fausto Osorio goes down on the called strike 3, and we will move along to the top half of the 9th inning. Japan cruising right now with a 9-1 lead over Mexico here in the opener of the 2017 WBSC U-18 Baseball World Cup from Port Arthur Stadium in Thunder Bay, Canada.
And nobody was left on base. Top 3, it's the U-18 Japan National Team 9, U-18 Mexico National Team 1.
Back in Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada, you got to look at City Hall, part of this beautiful region where we are currently in the province of Ontario. We're sort of south central. Everybody kind of thinks, oh, Toronto, you got to be close to Toronto. Everybody who hasn't been to this part of the world, we're not. We were about a 2-hour flight from Toronto west on the banks of Lake Superior, and as you can tell, just a gorgeous place for baseball, gorgeous place for outdoor activities, and a good place to be friends with the mayor, as you got to be yesterday.
Yeah, I got to hang out with the acting mayor of Thunder Bay, Linda Rydholm. Told me there's a bit of a competition between Thunder Bay and Winnipeg for which city is actually the center of Canada.
Oh, interesting.
The midpoint, east to west. Obviously, we're about as far south as you can get. Only about 60 clicks or so from the American border, but yeah, there's some debate, and I think the true answer lies somewhere between Thunder Bay and Winnipeg.
Inside, and I think that caught a piece, it did, of Kotaro Kiyomiya, the leadoff man for Japan here in the 9th inning.
Did everything he could to get out of the way of that one.
Yeah, caught the right elbow guard, it looks like.
That's what it was. It was no part of his physical person.
And you could kind of hear it crack off of something plastic, and it did catch the guard, and we will see a pinch runner take over at first base for Kiyomiya. So the big slugger's day is over. And now Jaime Garza will go to work against Shosei Nakamura. First offering high and tight. Nakamura so far today, 1 for 2, a couple of walks, a single to his credit today. First hit of the tournament. He lifts this one in the air to the shortstop position. Didn't even get out of the infield, and Martin Perez will put that one away for the first out of the 9th. And that brings up Shu Masuda. Masuda likewise a walk today. Those have been sprinkled throughout this lineup. 5 different players for Japan have worked at least 1 walk today. 2 of those players with multiple walks on the day. From the stretch, Garza comes home, catches the outside corner. Still trying to get a look at who the pinch runner is over at first. I haven't nabbed a jersey number. There he is, Yoshihiro Kujirai. Kujirai is a third baseman as he is listed on the roster. And he's off and running with the pitch. The throw to second base nearly in time, but just a little bit late. So a stolen base for Yoshihiro Kujirai. Another strong throw from Luis Gonzalez behind the plate, but just a couple seconds tardy. And another man in scoring position for Japan with Shu Masuda facing a 1-1 count. And he crushes the 1-1 pitch to center field. Racing back is Miguel Sanchez. He's going to make this catch a few steps in front of the warning track, tagging and heading to third and rounding the bag at third base. The pinch runner Kujirai, who thought about where the cutoff man picked that ball up. That was Martin Perez. He was in shallow center field, almost between shallow and medium depth center field. And for a second, Kujirai came around the third base bag like maybe he would have a shot at trying to score a run, but up 8. Obviously not a risk worth taking or needed that much, as first pitch is outside to Shuto Sakurai, the designated hitter.
Japan playing this game as if it was a 2-1 game here, instead of if they had the 8-run lead.
There's a bouncer on the first base line. A great pick over there by Favela, but his throw to the covering Garza is errant, and the run will score. Man, that was as tight along the line as a fair ball can be. Hopped right over the bag, and Favela to stick with it. Made the play cleanly, but couldn't make the throw to complement it. That will go as an infield single. Sakurai busting his tail out of the box, and that throw just a little bit wide. If it is a left-handed pitcher covering the bag, he probably is able to make that catch headed that way, but Garza had to reach across his body. with the glove on the left hand, and now here's a wild pitch into the dirt that will spring the runner to second base. Sakurai is in scoring position now. So this is Kenji Nishimaki, who came in at second base in the 7th inning. 1-0, lined out to short there and waiting. Martin Perez puts it away, and that retires the side for Japan here in the top of the 9th. But the Japan national team adds another one and cracks double digits in runs for the first time in the 2017 WBSC U-18 Baseball World Cup. Canada, Canada, our host site. 10 runs, 11 hits, and 2 errors for Japan. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors for Mexico. And we head to the bottom half of the 9th inning. Japan will try to close it out from Port Arthur Stadium.
The U-18 Japan national team, top of the 9th. They go 1 run, 1 hit. There's no errors. 1 was left on base. Leading things on for the U-18 Mexico national team is the 6th batter, throwing 7th designated hitter, Jose Angel Maciel Villegas.
Ruben Estrada, Gustavo Federico, Christian Mejia, David Dominguez, this coaching staff for Mexico, facing a big deficit as we head to the bottom half of the 9th inning at Port Arthur Stadium in Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. I am Tyler Mon, Craig Durham alongside game number 1 of the 2017 WBSC U-18 Baseball World Cup. Leadoff man for Mexico here in the bottom of the 9th is Jose Maciel, the designated hitter. He fouls the 0-1 straight back to the screen. It'll be Maciel, the DH, Luis Gonzalez, the catcher, and Jose Manzanares. Those are the 3 scheduled to bat in this inning. Japan has already gone to the bench for 3 different players. So some two-way guys on this roster as well as a 3-pitch strikeout cuts down Maciel for the first out of the 9th inning. That's one thing that I'm really anxious to see as this tournament presses on. The amount of players on all these rosters that can go 2 ways, pitch and play a position. We know the United States team has several of those guys. We were talking with some members of that staff yesterday. Canadian team has a couple as well, as that pitch rocketed back foul. Luis Gonzalez today is 0 for 3. Last time up, shot a liner the other way, but it turned into a double play with where Kotaro Kiyomiya was stationed right on top of the first base bag. Could have been extra bases had there not been a runner aboard. Instead, it turned into a 3-6 double play, and now an 0-2 count facing him here in the 9th. Curveball buried into the dirt. So Japan, as Craig noted earlier, what you're kind of aiming for in this opening round is at least 3 wins. Japan will be a third of the way there today. This Japan club will be back at it tomorrow. Fouled off of the foot of Gonzalez there. A big matchup tomorrow, Japan and the United States. That is the 5 o'clock game, local time here at Port Arthur.
And we will both have that one for you.
That one a rematch of the last 2 World Championship finals. Big swing and a miss on the 1-2. What a fastball there from Shunpei Isomura. He's now struck out 3 straight hitters, and the task will fall to Jose Manzanares to try to keep things alive for Mexico here in the 9th.
I mean, just surgical work here from Isomura, as he's come in and looked unhittable in the 9th after working a 1-2-3-8. He's now struck out 3 in a row.
For Mexico, tomorrow a date with South Africa over at Baseball Central, our other facility for this year's U-18 World Cup. 0-1 offering on the way, and man, on the inside corner to Jose Manzanares, who's kind of pulled the hands back from each of these 2 fastballs that he's seen in this at bat. But Japan now 1 strike away from closing out an opening win. 0-2. Misses upstairs. 10 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors for Japan. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for Mexico. Just tough sledding all day against this Japanese pitching staff. Way inside on the 1-2. And the count will go level on Manzanares. Jose today is 1 for 2 on the day. He doubled back in the 3rd inning, leading off the 3rd inning, was stranded aboard at 3rd base. Was hit by a pitch to load the bases in the 4th, and then grounded out 6-3 in the 6th. That one just off the inside corner as well. So from 0-2, we go to 3-2. Shosei Nakamura again doing a tremendous job trying to get those calls on the frame.
That last pitch was 10 inches inside.
Isomura sets, and a foul ball right at the dish. Yeah, and that's what's almost impressive. Nakamura's taking pitches that are nowhere near the zone and still able to frame them so they look almost borderline, and the borderline ones are the ones that he's stealing strikes on. And that's what a good catcher does. Isomura ready. 3-2. Again to the screen, and we'll do it again.
What a battle from Manzanares here. Your team's down 8. Could quite comfortably roll over and say we'll see you tomorrow, South Africa, but he's taking every pitch and treating it as if it's the most important of the game, and that will no doubt serve him well going forward in this tournament.
3-2 again on the way, and he will keep it alive. Line drive single that'll touch down in center field off the bat of Manzanares, who has himself a 2-hit day. And Mexico will try to get something built and keep the line moving as the task falls to Ramon Mendoza. The left fielder who is 0 for 2 today, ground out to first and a foul out to first. He was also hit by a pitch to bring in Mexico's only run. That came back in the 4th inning and really made it seem like we were going to have a tight one all day today. It was 3-1 after 4. Japan added a run in the 5th as a fastball poured in for a strike. And then a 5-run Japan 7th inning busted this game open. A 3-run homer in that frame by Taisei Inoue, who then was replaced in the field in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Get some extra rest headed into tomorrow. And a big date against the United States. The U.S. will send Ethan Hankins in game 1 today. So tomorrow likely will be Kumar Rocker, who is one of the really highly touted prospects on that staff. And Japan yet to announce their starter. It looks like it'll probably be a lefty. There are 3 left-handers in the mix for that number 2 job, as the count is now 1-2 on Mendoza. Isomura ready. And a wave and a miss of the 1-2, and that will do it. Shunpei Isomura strikes out the side and fans 4 of the final 5 batters he faces as Samurai Japan cruises in a Game 1 victory over Mexico. Our final here from Port Arthur Stadium in Thunder Bay. 10 runs, 11 hits, and 2 errors for Japan. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for Mexico. A dominant performance spurred on by that 5-run 7th inning.
Yeah, it's what we've come to expect from the number 1 ranked baseball nation in the world. The Japan national team coming out and taking care of business. The early start, the cool weather, not affecting them one little bit. I'm very excited to see how they match up tomorrow night against the American squad.
Big one coming up tomorrow from here at Port Arthur. Craig and I will both be on the call for that one. Coming up here in just a little bit, a scheduled 1 o'clock start time. It'll be pushed back a little bit, but another good one on tap for you. Australia and South Korea. Craig's on the call for that one. And then back here tonight after our 5:15 local time opening ceremony, Chinese Taipei and Canada will match up at 6:30. These 2 teams will meet in the center of the diamond, exchange handshakes and pins and all that type of stuff. That's one of the neatest things about these tournaments is when these guys all get together, and it's the common language is baseball for all of these teams, and it's always cool to see the way that these guys at the end of a game are so respectful of each other across all of these tournaments that we've seen.
Yeah, and the way this game was played today was very respectful of each other and the game of baseball. That was a really, really good game to kick off this tournament. And though the Mexico national team struggled to produce, they had those opportunities in the third and fourth innings and could get just the one run out of them. And from that point on, Japan took over. You certainly have to respect the effort after travel difficulties and all the trouble they had getting here to come out and play a top team and play them well. And I think Mexico should bounce back nicely tomorrow against South Africa.
Absolutely. Mexico will move on winless, but will get a shot at South Africa tomorrow to try to break into the win column. Let's take a look at some highlights from day number 1 here at Port Arthur Stadium, the main site of this year's WBSC U-18 Baseball World Cup. Also, games being played at Baseball Central here in Thunder Bay this week. But Japan, the top-ranked nation in the world, getting things started against Mexico today. And as we were talking about, it looked like it was going to be a close one early. In the second inning, Japan got on the board, started to put base runners on. That stolen base was Shu Masuda, who got on with a walk to start the inning. He was later cut down on the base pass on a fielder's choice, but Japan loaded the bases, and Kyoji Fujiwara came through with a bases-loaded double down the left field line. That cleared everybody, brought home 3, and got Japan a lead that it would not relinquish for the rest of the day. Mexico's starting pitcher in this game, Dario Hardea, really started to find himself in the third inning. He struck out 3 in that frame, added a strikeout in the fourth. Mexico offensively got a leadoff double from Jose Manzanares in the third inning. They left him aboard. And then in the fourth, Japan showing off some wheels. But up to the task, Luis Gonzalez, Mexico's catcher, who had attempted to cut down a couple of guys stealing prior to that, finally nabbed his first base runner in the fourth. And then just a momentary lapse in command for Shomo Takayama put Mexico on the board. Already with 2 runners aboard. The first hit by pitch was Manzanares. That loaded the bases. Ramon Mendoza then plunked by a pitch. That forced home Sal Favela with Mexico's only run. But here in the 5th, Dario Hardea threw a pitch on a 2-1 count rather, to Kosuke Ito, and then motioned to his dugout a blister on the middle finger of his right hand. He was later lifted, and Japan would break things open from there. Although prior to that, some fancy glove work in the outfield. Fausto Osorio coming up big on a ball off the bat of the big power hitter Kotaro Kiyomiya. But that 7th inning was where things really started to break free for Japan, plating a run in the 5th when Ito scored there on a sacrifice fly off the bat of Kiyomiya. And then Mexico falling victim to some fancy glove work from Japan in this game as well. That one there was Kiyomiya, who turned a terrific 3-6 double play. Here is where the floodgates started to open. A 5-run 7th inning for this Japan national team. That one there, the RBI single by Shosei Nakamura, that brought home Kosuke Ito. Ito's day was then done after that. He was replaced for a pinch hitter in the 8th inning. RBI knocked by Shuto Sakurai, and then the big shot, this one a 3-run blast off the bat of Taisei Inoue, right field. That capped the 5-run frame. Japan turned to the bullpen for the first time in the 8th. Shunpei Isomura came on after 7 terrific innings from Shomo Takayama. Isomura faced just 7 over his 2 frames, struck out 4 of them, and closed out the victory. So once again, our final score from Port Arthur Stadium. Japan rolls to victory 10-1 in its WBSC opener here in 2017. Coming up later on today, 2 more games at this facility. We will see here in just a little bit Australia and Korea. That's a good one. 1:45 now the scheduled start time for that one. And coming up tonight, the host nation, Canada, will jump into the pool. Chinese Taipei will be the visitors in that one. And the Canadian national team, which is feeling good about itself on home soil, will take the field for the first time coming up tonight at 6:30 local time. I'm Tyler Maund. For Craig Durham, who joined me, thanks a ton for tuning in. We'll talk to you later on today from Port Arthur in Thunder Bay.